Alright, welcome to Keepers of the Library number 17, starring Joshua and Michelle Keep, as seen on The National.
And on CBC Here and Now, and Atlantic Tonight.
Yeah, so we actually finally got some recognition locally, and then that kind of exploded when we were on national news.
Yeah!
Totally didn't see anything.
No, it's been a very weird week, and it's not even over yet, so who knows what might happen. Maybe next we'll go on international news.
That's setting your sights pretty dang high.
That's how I roll, baby.
Yep. Well, it was very strange because we've been doing pretty well at this whole writing thing. But we just work in our home, in our little home office, and we
don't really talk to a lot of people. We don't get out much. We just keep to ourselves. We're very modest about the success that we do have. We don't like to brag or anything like that.
We have personally no connections to anyone. I'm the fucking poor son of an elementary school secretary. I don't know anybody.
And my parents pretty much cut me off when I was a kid, so there's not really a lot of connections to be made there.
But then we got on the news, and already we've been recognized by...
Yeah, we went out for Valentine's Day, and all these people were coming up to us. They're like, "Are you the romance authors?"
Yeah, I know.
Which is surreal, because I'm not used to being, recognized at all, especially when I go out in our small town, and, I didn't grow up here, so I don't have a lot of connections outside of where, my workplace is.
Well, I grew up here, but only here as in, if you consider here the island, but outside of the town, nobody knows what the hell goes on this island, so I grew up way the hell outside of town, so...
Yeah, so it's been a very cool couple of days. We are incredibly humbled by all of the attention we've been receiving. We hope that we can kind of introduce not just our works to new audiences, but also introduce new people to the industry, which is what we've always kind of been going for with regards to our Pathforgers publishing. We've been all about trying to empower new people to the industry, trying to guide them in what steps they need to take in order to find some success.
Oh yeah, for years, we've been very open about offering advice. We've had on Darknest, a website we own, 130,000 members, but we offer a little portion of the website just with resources and advice on how to get started in self-publishing and that.
Yeah, and, anytime anybody messages us, we try to help them out as best we can, and, because of the fact that we are so busy, we've also been charging for our services in cover design and editing and...
Well, yeah, if you just want advice... We are more than happy to give that free. If you want us to do work for you, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to.
Yeah. That's unfortunately how it has to go, because, we need to look at our priorities and see what needs to happen in order for us to continue our own business, as well as trying to empower other people. So, we provide customized and very detailed plans for people who are interested, but, we try to help out as much as we can for free.
Well, yeah. But this little lady's time is worth a lot. And I put my foot down and said, you can't be spending dozens of hours doing work for other people just because you're the sweetest person on the planet.
Yes. He is allowing me, however, to do some volunteer work, which is for a cause that's close to my heart. So that's kind of my...
Oh, great. You've just said on our podcast, which we're completely incapable of editing, that I'm just some kind of masculine, authoritative brute, some sexist monster who's controlling.
No, you are the one who keeps me in check and makes sure that, I'm not
I'm the one that has to remind you that there are limited hours in the day.
Yeah.
And that you have your limits personally too. You cannot help every single person on the planet.
He is the voice of reason. And I am the voice of, oh sure, I'm going to help every single person who sends me a single message, and I'm going to tell them everything they need to do and everything that they, from start to finish, I will help them the entire way. And he looks at me and says, that is unreasonable. No one person can expect you to do that, and you certainly cannot expect yourself to do that. So I only say allow in that he has found it that I can handle that as long as it doesn't get too much.
Yeah. I'm the one that has to look out for you because you sure as hell don't look out for yourself.
Yeah, he's like the little angel on my shoulder that keeps making sure that I take care of myself.
Yeah.
The little angel.
Thank you for sorting that out.
You're welcome.
If there
are any questions in regards to our relationship or how wonderful he is in making sure that he takes care of me, you could forward them to me.
Yeah.
And I'll answer them if I have time.
I usually actually answer the fan mail.
Because I get embarrassed.
She hates answering fan mail. She is self-deprecating in every way imaginable, and so if anybody sends me like, oh, I love your work so much, she just wants to convince them that no, it was terrible, you shouldn't have liked it at all.
Have you reconsidered? So yeah, it was surreal seeing us on TV, seeing our enormous bookshelf filled with all of our books, and there were some of the figurines that I painted, and my camera, and all the things that I hold dear. Our Bitch magazine, which we were quoted in, talking about trigger warnings in fiction, which I am so immensely proud of.
Yeah. And just sexism, we're thinking of something.
Yeah, sexism in regards to censorship of erotic works, which are primarily by women and for women. Mm-hmm. Though I saw a graph today that said something around 16% of romance readers are men. And that's, obviously a self-reported study, so it is probably going to be lower than anticipated.
Yeah.
So, because I know we have a lot of guys out there who like our stuff, so I don't think that guys should be shy about the fact that they like romance. I think that's great.
Well, it makes a lot of sense to me, because we're a couple who writes together. I think we do a good job of capturing what makes romantic relationships, sexual relationships interesting to both genders. In a broad sense, because it's the two of us.
Because it's not just the emotions and it's not just the physicality, it's both. Because that's a relationship,
Yeah.
If you're just looking for emotional fulfillment, there's plenty of ways to do that, and plenty of relationships that have that. But with the sexuality, that gets a lot of guys interested. Mm-hmm. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think the age of ebooks is probably going to move us towards a more equal readership in romance, which I think is really cool, because I know a lot of men who write romance and who are, big fans of the genre, and they're just a little nervous about it.
Yeah.
So I think we're moving towards that, which is cool.
Yeah. I like it. I love romance. I'm a sucker for romance.
He is. He's always the one trying to make our books so soft and sweet, and I'm always the one trying to make things so raunchy, so...
Yeah.
We are just shattering gender expectations left, right, and center, I suppose.
I guess you could say that, yeah. But I'm just so happy. Because ever since I was a little boy, I dreamt of finding the perfect person for me. And I got her!
Yay!
That's great.
Ever since I was little, I dreamed of being a writer. And I got it! Yay!
I didn't dare dream so big.
Yeah. And I didn't need no man. In my dreams, I was just a successful author. I was Anne Rice.
All on your own, huh?
Well, yeah, or with a man, or a woman, or whoever. A couple, yeah.
Well, there you go. But yeah, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about tonight. there's, of course, that which we just discussed.
Yep.
The exposure we got and how that's been cool. It's only been a few days we're on national TV, and already we've gotten like 4 people or more recognize us as we go about our daily life.
Which is not often. And then we get the weird stares, like the, do I know you double takes? Like,
I've noticed a few of those too.
Yeah. But 4 that were brave enough to come up and say, wait, aren't you the romance authors?
Yeah.
Which I think is so cool. And we've gotten a couple of emails and PMs on social media, which is so cool. Everybody has been so nice, and just a lot of other people who have connected with us talking about their dreams and their goals and how we've made it seem so much more attainable and how we've given them hope. And oh my God, like I have never thought that I would be the kind of person that would be going around saying like, oh yes, somebody contacted me earlier today about how I'd given them hope to follow their dreams. Like I never considered myself to be a leader in that regard. I've always kind of tried to be a positive influence, but I've never really seen myself as somebody who had a lot of impact.
Because even though, this is one of the things, figures we sold 400,000 copies for books last year. But for us, that was not something you really saw in our daily lives consisted of waking up, trudging into the office, doing some work, going for a walk in the park, coming back home, doing some more work.
We're really simple kind of people. We do our best to help out other people, but we're really low key.
Yeah, like the extra money we make after we put some in savings for the future and paid our bills, we donate to charities, we volunteer time and stuff but we don't know many people, we live a very simple life, so it was a weird...
Yeah.
It was weird seeing us on, and our home, which we love, which is a simple little place, just on national TV, saw by 1 million people. That was really weird.
Yeah. Because, as we said, we don't have a huge group of friends or anything. We've only had a handful of people over to our modest apartment, and we love showing it off and we love having people over, but we've just always been fairly small circle of friends, and suddenly we're inviting 1 million viewers into our home, and it's surreal.
It was very strange, and I was very sappy, and that was what apparently got us the national piece.
Yes,
was in a local interview.
What was the favored line, Josh? Say it.
Oh, I can't. I simply can't say it.
You can too.
Oh, well, what I said to the local news reporter, I said, we get to fall in love over and over again through the characters in our books. And
everybody loved it, including his wife.
Yeah, I wish I could say I planned that I was kind of clever and swab it off to a plan that's the kind of line that's really going to get people. But I was just completely, this is just local news, who gives a shit? I'm going to say whatever comes off the top of my head, and there were no preparation. I was just that was just my thoughts at the time, feelings, but people loved it. That's great. But it was true. That's what I love about writing with you.
So, we've been absolutely reeling, and then we had our Valentine's Day, which for our, probably 3rd or 4th time, we've spent a special romantic holiday with a 3rd person just chilling out and doing our thing. Yeah. So we went to a local wine tasting with one of our friends,
for
and
charity.
It was amazing.
We went because it was for charity and a tax write-off.
Yeah.
Which is 2 things we really love.
Yeah, I'm really attracted to tax write-offs because we spend a lot of money on our marketing and stuff like that, so we need as many tax breaks as we can get. It appeals
to our romantic side and our cheap side.
Yeah, which is the best thing.
And our charitable giving side, which is our 3. Those are really our only 3 sides.
Yeah. So, that was great, and everybody there was like, oh my gosh, I recognize you. You're the romance authors. Of course you would be at a wine tasting. Which is so funny because it's our first one, like the first time we ever went to one. And
oh, yeah. It was very odd, but we took a course.
On cheese and wine pairings.
Pairing cheese and wines. Oh, I feel so sophisticated now.
Yeah. I came home. I'm like, oh, Josh, I brought home some cheese. We could do our own wine tasting. And that's what we did tonight before doing our podcast. So I think we're both feeling no pain.
We ate a baguette.
Yeah, a baguette with some fancy cheese.
Yeah, I know. We're so fucking fancy. Yeah. But tonight we're also going to talk about what we've been working on lately. Michelle, you've been fucking balls to the wall busy.
Yeah.
As always.
Because not only have I been working on our stuff, but I've been helping a lot of other authors out recently because we just did a launch of our newest book on Alexis Abbott, which is owned by the Hitman. We did a Hitman bad boy mafia romance, which was awesome, and everybody loves it, and there's like 300 rave reviews about how great it is.
Yeah, and it put us into the top 100 for authors of not only romance in the U.S. and globally, but for just fiction in general.
Yeah. So we have a couple new milestones, which is awesome. I have an achievement folder that I save all of the screenshots of all of our like highest ranks and all of our accolades.
Accolades, yeah.
Yeah, cool. I said it right.
Yeah.
I learned how to speak by reading a lot when I was a kid, but I never gotten spoken to a lot when I was a kid. So I didn't learn a lot how to pronounce a lot of words.
No, it's really cute because she knows all these big words, but she's never ever had to say them out loud to anyone who actually know how they're pronounced.
Yeah, so
I get to help her a lot there with it.
Yeah. So, owned by the Hitman by Alexis Abbott is now out, and that's what I've been focusing a lot of attention on. But since we just finished a release, I've been kind of looking for a way to keep my mind occupied so that I'm not just constantly refreshing the ranks. I've also taken on some other work from some other authors, so I've been really busy with that.
Yeah, we released War Torn, which is for our fantasy fans.
Yeah, back in just the end of December, we finished up War Torn, and oh my god, it was something that we had finished writing a while ago, but never got around to publishing. So
it was such a dense, grand fantasy.
It was
erotica, romance.
It follows a lot of different characters, so it was pretty dense for like editing and making sure that the timeline was all accurate. So Josh did a pass of that, and then I had to do a pass of it to make sure everything was lined up correctly.
And then we repeated that again.
Yeah. So we published that at the end of December, and that has amazing reviews. It doesn't have as many as our contemporary names because it is so much easier to find contemporary readers than it is to find fantasy readers. Though I did read an interesting thing that a Harlequin insider was saying that they felt that this year is going to be the year for fantasy and paranormal romance because contemporary is so oversaturated right now that it's a lot harder to get your book out there and seen.
Yeah.
And because everything's kind of so samey, you could see that the Step Brothers are kind of taking a big downturn from this time last year. Bad Boys are still hot, but they are losing a lot of steam. It's not as silver bullet anymore. So I've been seeing more sci-fi romance.
Ooh. I love sci-fi.
Yeah, so that's kind of becoming a new hot thing. And there's a couple vampires that aren't just shades of vampires. By Bella Forrest, who has been dominating the charts since she started publishing in 2012. Mm-hmm. So there's a couple new vampires on there, and currently I'm reading a new dragon novel. So I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah, we have like 1 or 2 of those in the
Yeah,
works.
we have 2 dragon stories in the works. So hopefully we'll be able to get those, the inspiration for those, and get those finished off pretty soon and get those out for our fantasy fans. We also have 2 mafia romances still in the works, so we'll get those out for our contemporary fans. And in the meantime, we'll work on some Candy Quinn shorts.
Yeah, we need to get some more of those out.
Yeah.
Candy Quinn people are voracious.
Yeah.
You will love to use some candy.
Yeah.
That's our erotica pen name. That's where all our mostly short stories go.
Yeah. We do some novellas, like some longer stuff as well, but it's mostly shorts, and we'll put the novellas and novels on the other pen names, which are more, like the pen name thing is kind of hard because you want to make sure that the people who want your stuff will be able to find you, while at the same time, you make sure that if somebody finds you, they find what they're looking for. So it's kind of a give and take there.
Well, yeah.
We've had a lot of debate and discussion over what we want on each of our pen names, and the philosophy's changed a lot over the years, so...
Yeah, there's a bit of back and forth, which becomes an ugly kind of transitional period for us on a back-end sort of matter.
Yeah.
But, we're trying to focus our works to please our fantasy fans, please our erotica fans, please our contemporary romance fans.
Yeah. And keep us kind of engaged as well, because the thing is with anything, you kind of get bored doing the same thing over and over. So we personally need a bunch of different pen names to keep us going.
Yeah, because while readers can read a book in just a few hours and then want to go jump on another one because their passion's still going, it takes us a lot longer to write those novels than it does for you to read them.
Yeah. So one scene might take us as much time as it would take for a reader to read the entire book. So yeah, we need to skip around, and especially where fantasy is our definite passion. We love our contemporary, romantic suspense as well, but, fantasy romance is always, that's the thing that we wrote before we started publishing and making money off of it.
Yeah. I'm just a big, huge nerd. I can't help it.
Yeah, we were, Dungeons and Dragons and horror novels were, what we loved before we started this, so...
Yeah. Can't help it.
And that's part of why we took over Dark Nest is because it is such a passion project, despite the fact that, Dark Nest doesn't really do anything for our income. It's the people there are younger and they don't have as much disposable income. So it's definitely more of a passion project than, anything else.
But it's where we got our start, so we like to keep it going.
Yeah. And we didn't want to see it fall into disarray. So, and,
what? We just recently did a complete revamp of the website, and by we, I mean mostly you.
And our wonderful, wonderful host, Jason. We did a revamp to make sure everything's kind of more modern, easier to look at on mobile devices and stuff like that.
So
that was a big drawback of our old forum software. So we upgraded, and now everything is looking great. We need a couple more donations in order to kind of do all of the things that we want to do. And the more donations that we receive for the site, the more money we could put into the site, which means the more custom mods we can get for the site as well. So if
you're using the site and you think that, you don't like the current visual appearance and stuff like that, then we're waiting for a little more donations to come in, and we're going to address those concerns and add some more custom appearances.
Yeah, and not only that, but also just different tweaks and stuff like that. You can hire developers to make these tweaks. So if we get enough money, then we can hire a developer to take care of all the little details that there isn't currently a way to address.
Yeah, because everything costs money.
Yep. and especially IT people's times.
Very expensive.
It took Jason and I 2 days at least to set up the transfer and make sure that everything went through and then make all the changes.
And you're both professionals, both of your time costs, it's valuable time.
Yeah. So,
but you get it for nothing. So.
You could get a yearly subscription for $50, or if you just want to do it for 1 year, then it's $70. Or even if you just want to subscribe for a month, it's $5 recurring and $7 one time. So, if you want to help out, you can give us a donation of any amount, or you can get a subscription, which gets you a huge inbox.
Right. So, go hog wild.
Yeah.
Help us out. Keep the erotica flowing.
Yeah.
The erotica must flow.
Yes. Just like the spice.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going for.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that anybody listening understood the reference. I understood the reference. That's why I explained it to the people on the other end.
The references to Dune.
Which is like the slowest starting book ever, but it is so worth it.
I love that. I love that series. I don't know. It is so much of the themes of the novel and the series of novels are against everything I like, but damn, that's well written.
Yeah.
Herbert, you did a fucking bang on job.
Did.
I know I'm speaking to him from
beyond the grave?
Yes. From beyond the grave.
Well, I mean,
good job.
You're on the other side of the grave, but he's on the beyond the grave.
Well, yeah, whatever. I don't know, maybe I'm dead. I don't know. Maybe I'm a ghost.
You are very, very white.
I am so fucking white. So, I mean, there you go. Who knows? Am I a ghost? You tell me. Right in. Am I a ghost? Let me know.
They can't see you.
Can they hear me, though? If I do, spooky sounds, ooh.
Well, now you're just doing the spooky sounds so they hear it.
Ooh.
Oh, my God.
Fine, fuck. Let's not find out if I'm dead or not. Whatever.
Okay, yeah, let's not, because I'll be very sad if you're dead.
Oh my. What if you're dead, too, though? What if we're both dead?
I don't know. So yeah, I think we talked about it last time, but I just wanted to quickly go over it. The quality of the podcast is not up to my usual standards of absolute perfection for everything I do. And I mean, part of the problem is podcasting equipment is really expensive, like professional, super nice podcasting equipment. But the other problem is that basically you need a studio in order to sound really good on podcast. You need kind of like a smallish padded room so that there's no echo and no reverb or anything like that. And I mean, that's just out of our reach. We're not going to go to a studio in order to do our podcast.
Yeah, the podcast doesn't make us any money.
No.
We do this
just as a way to connect to people, just because we enjoy having the excuse to talk about what we're up to and hopefully help other people who are in our industry. We don't give away huge tidbits of information because, of course, a lot of our readers or a lot of our listeners are just readers. So we don't want to get too technical or anything like that.
She can get very technical.
I can, yeah. So
she gets so technical, I don't know what the hell she's talking about.
Yeah, he just looks at me and smiles and says, "Whatever you think is best." Yeah. So, we're going to try to improve. I'm getting possibly a MacBook Pro, which is supposed to have better podcasting software, and hopefully that'll help. But otherwise, we'll just try to keep tweaking and improving and trying to get the quality as good as we can with what we're working with.
Yeah. Do what we can.
Yeah, because we love you people. And we want you to listen. And for it to not be staticky or reverby or anything.
Yeah.
So, I guess speaking of the more technical side, we've gotten a lot of questions lately about people who have kind of an idea or a passion for writing, but they've kind of let it fall to the wayside because, traditional publishing was kind of relentless in how
You basically needed to know somebody who worked in traditional publishing.
Yeah.
Have an in.
Or just be somebody exceptional.
Be someone stupidly lucky, or
just submit the right manuscript at the right time and have it be exactly what the publishing house is looking for, and have them be willing to take a chance on a new author. It was a hard kind of system for most people. So a lot of people have had their dreams completely squashed.
Well, I mean, like I've said tonight, often before, I didn't even dare dream of becoming an author someday. Because when we grew up under the traditional publishing regime, you didn't do that. Unless you were the type of person who was independently wealthy and didn't need to make a living off of what your work you were doing. To be a professional, to work as an author was mostly just a stupid fancy.
Yeah, so I think with self-publishing becoming more of a thing, not only is it opened a lot of doors for people who aren't interested in going through the rejection process of traditional publishing, but also it's opened it up to people who just have a passion, who just want to see their book out there. People who feel so strongly deep inside that they have something to share with the world, something beautiful and magical and unique that they want to put out there, that they never felt like they could, or that they could find acceptance or, prestige in doing that. So now there's a lot of people who have come out and said, yes, I have this passion, I have this drive to write this novel. And it is just so refreshing to have people say, yes, you can do it. And yes, you can reach people. And yes, there are no barriers except for the ones that you put up ahead of yourselves to getting your work out there.
Though, to be fair, it's not to say that everybody, if you want to be a writer, it's not to say everybody's going to be a success. That's not how the fucking world works.
No, but it's also depending on what your terms of success is. Because there's a lot of authors out there who just want to have people to buy their books, who just are thrilled to get the, 5 glowing reviews about how awesome their book was. To them, that is success. Not everybody wants to make a full-time living at this.
Yeah.
So, we chose that, but that was also because being full-time authors fit with our schedule, fit with our lifestyle.
It fit for our dreams for life, because long before we thought of being authors, our plan was always, we're going to start a business together so we can work together 100% of the time.
So, being authors allowed us to find that success, not just financially, but also as regards to our goals. And I know a lot of other authors who their goal is just to have, 10 people that they didn't know buy their book.
Yeah.
And, self-publishing has allowed that to happen. I remember when we first published and we sold that first copy of our first book overnight on the very first night that we published. And I was just so blown away that somebody found our book so quickly, that they bought it so quickly. And I was just... this was a stranger. This was somebody that I had no idea who they were. And that is so humbling and so amazing.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah. So I think self-publishing has really opened it up to people in that situation where maybe they don't want to earn a full-time living at it. Maybe they just want, a couple people to read their books and to have something that they can focus their energy on, their creative focus. It's amazing, and I'm so happy to hear from all these people who are just so excited to find out that this is a possibility.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because, of course, when we got into it, we were a little behind, because there were the people who got in right at the beginning when ebooks became a thing, and, in those early days, it was so easy to become a success and so easy to make a lot of money. We got in a little late to that game, and, if I was the type of person for regrets, I would regret not getting into it a little sooner.
But he is not one for regrets.
I'm not one for regrets. I love my life as it is now, so I'm not going to regret anything. But, and it's tougher now than it was when we got into it. But do you still have any dreams of writing? you know what? I don't think it's going to get any better than
No,
it is now.
it's always going to get harder.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what do you have to lose?
Give it a try.
Yeah.
Learn the skills you need, and there's a lot of skills to need. It seems kind of daunting.
But the thing is what you have to do, and this is true of any self-employed business, you have to look at what's going to benefit you the most, and then start building a solid foundation. So for writing, I would recommend when you're starting out, unless you know somebody really good, to outsource your covers, to try to get as much feedback as you can on your keywords and your categories and your blurb. Try to workshop that along with your story, and then set up a newsletter. And then get really good at newsletters. And maybe pick one social media site. So if you really like Facebook, then get really good at Facebook. If you really like Twitter, get really good at Twitter. And just focus on those couple little manageable things. And then keep growing your repertoire. Because the thing is with self-publishing, there are so many things that you could do. And it is always going to feel so overwhelming because you're always going to feel like there's more that you should be doing. And if you allow yourself to feel that, you're just going to lose sight of the actual goal. You're just going to kind of shrivel up and get down on yourself.
There's an endless list of things you could be doing, but you're a person. You have your limits. You have to do the things that are most productive. Yeah, everybody has a limited number of hours in the day.
And I'll never forget, I used to read a site called I Will Teach You to Be Rich. And there's a lot of great advice there for, ladder climbing and corporate businesses and for striking out on your own and the risks and rewards. But one of the things he said was that whenever somebody starts a self-employed business, like a small business, the first thing they always want to do is set up business cards. The business cards and the website, they seem to add so much legitimacy. But the thing is with business cards and with the website, that's not going to find you any clients. That's not actually going to make you any money first starting out. It will later down the road, and it'll add to your legitimacy. But when you first start out, the most important thing is to go where your clients are.
Yeah.
So it's the same with self-publishing. Like, you can't just do the things that look good or make you feel good. You have to do the things that are actually going to help you connect with readers. And I think that's the most important thing that a lot of authors kind of forget, or don't really realize the difference between, because a website isn't going to find you new readers. A website is going to help you retain readers that you already have, but if you don't have any readers, it's not going to help you.
Yeah. So stick to what gets you new readers. So that's offering sex in exchange for book reads.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. That's been our key to success, and,
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
Speaking of offering sex for readers, for anybody local in St. John's.
This is going into a weird place. I was joking.
Shunny.
Shunny. Okay, shunny. Yeah.
Shunny. So in May, we are going to be taking part in the Love and Sex show here in St. John's, Newfoundland. So that is May 13th, 14th, and 15th. Along with our local writer group, which is Romancing the Rock. We are going to be having a booth there and selling our books and giving away signed copies and all that good stuff. So if you're in St. John's, make sure to put that on your calendar. The Love and Sex show at the Remax Center in St. John's.
Yep.
I almost forgot about that.
That's the thing that's coming up.
And then September, we are also having another expo, but there will be more information on that closer to the date.
Yeah. I'm excited for both. I like interacting with people one-on-one.
Me too! too. So
I suck at promoting our stuff on social media and everything. You
never actually talk about our books ever. Like, if anybody looked at your Twitter or whatever, they wouldn't know that you were a writer.
No.
So
I'm not very good at it.
But in person, he's so suave. He's so charming. He's like, oh yeah, I'm just writing 1,000,000 books.
Oh wow. She did a hair flip there. Do I do that? Do I do hair
You
flip?
look like you hair flip.
I look like I hair flip. Oh,
He has a lot of hair.
I have a lot of hair. My wife likes it.
I do.
That's why I have a lot of hair.
Yeah. One barber tried to take that away from me and I got him fired.
Yeah. She was merciless.
I feel really bad about that though. I didn't intend to get him fired. I just wanted him to feel bad about, giving my husband a really terrible haircut and then being a real jerk about it afterwards. But then I never saw him there ever again, so I feel kind of shitty about it. But I joke, so
it's a lot of presumptions there. You don't know that you actually had anything to do with him going, or...
I know. Maybe he just decided to retire to Hawaii.
You look so morose.
I know, I'm really upset about it, but I was really upset about your hair, too.
You were very upset about my hair.
So, I think that's all for the major topics that we wanted to cover today.
If you've got any questions, what's up? If you want to come over for some wine and cheese, we now know how to do that.
Yeah, we now know how to pair those things. Kind of. I mean, give us a little while to prepare because we're not that good, but...
There was also this guy at the wine show that taught us how to pair wine and chocolate.
Oh, and it was so good. It was Newfoundland Chocolate Company. If you're here, check them out. So good.
I know, right?
And they do chocolate making classes, so I think I'm gonna beg Josh to...
Yeah, he promised that you're able to take as much chocolate as you can carry out.
Yeah, so I kind of want to put that to the test because, I'm planning on going in there with, hammer pants and, pockets down to my knees.
Cargo pants, pockets everywhere,
Yeah, go back to the 90s. One way or the other.
Yeah. Fanny pack.
Yeah, we watched Cool as Ice yesterday, so I feel very confident in our ability to bring the 90s back.
Yeah, totally.
So if you have any questions, leave us a comment here or on our website. I'll put the link in the description. If you have any thoughts for what you want us to do in the future or topics you want to have us cover, feel free. We are now available for media bookings, and more information can be